live on Substack. I just wanted to try it. Um, and I am just doodling on some black canvas because I couldn't find the last one that I drew on, and somebody on Threads asked about it, so I figured that I would try it. Do you like my shirt? I've had this one for a while. My desk, I'm not sitting at straight or whatever. Anyway, I'm just rambling because I have ADHD. Actually, I have a migraine right now. Anyway, so I'm using a Posca, white Posca on a black canvas. Um, so I guess we'll see. Because like I said, I'm just messing around. So, I guess let's see. For this, guess I'll do mm, maybe something I do a lot. I did this one on scratch paper. I forgot that I'm reversed. Well, I'm not. I mean, I'm kind of reversed. Yep. Which is weird because you can read my shirt. Um, during Tucson Comic Con, I took these from me, and these are from Pilgrim Soul, which is hilarious because Pilgrim Soul um is for stoners. So I took these with me so I could do them in between, people wandering around. So I think I'll try this just to see. So we will put his eyeball in the middle. And if you guys have any comments, I don't know how this works. So I guess I'll see comments maybe. Um, if I don't, I'm not ignoring you. Like I said, I'm trying this out. So we're gonna draw um, I wonder what is I have a stand, which of course I didn't think about before I did this. So of course I don't know where it is. Anyway, I usually have a stand whatever. We're for this. But I don't know I'm gonna do this. So you guys can see what I'm doing. Let's see if I move my keyboard. I move my wrist pad, and then I move this up here. And then you would think I'd be more prepared for this, but no. This was on a whim. Because I wanted to see something. Oh, but now I'm not gonna be able to see what you guys are saying. So I guess this will work. So you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. Hello, the three people who are here. So, one of the things I like to draw when I'm stressed out or whatnot is cephalopods, specifically octopuses. I was really happy. Actually, it tickled me a few years ago when I don't remember which society decided, but that the appropriate plural for octopuses was octopuses and octopi, which is hilarious to me because that's a big debate uh in the grammar world, and the people that are um very much of the no, you call it octopi, which is one thing that I'm really glad that we don't really do anymore, or at least in the parts of social media that I'm in, we don't do it as much, um, because I will admit that was something that I did, but overall, it was just really annoying. It was really annoying when I did it too. Did I sketch this? No, I did not. Um, but that they said that you could say octopi or octopuses, It was some science person, so I'm just gonna go with it and say, science people told me so, and if you have an issue with that, you can take it up with the science people. But I tend to trust science people, so okay. Um, hello, fourth person. Um,
Great.
I tend to trust science people because they are smarter than me. I mean, I like to think that I'm a pretty smart person in the things that I am smart about because ADHD says I can be smart about stuff. Which is a really weird concept, isn't it? That we do that, um, where we say things like, or we tell children, we tell adults too, that they cannot um be they can't know these things. And I'm like, "What do you mean they can't know these things?" Um, they absolutely can know these things. Just because you don't know these things doesn't mean that they don't know these things. Um, just like, well, it boils down to somebody told those people that, what they liked was ridiculous and that was a terrible tentacle, that they, obviously couldn't like it. So, um, can somebody do me a favor and just say hi in the comments so I can see if I can see it? Because I don't know if I can see them or if I'm just ignoring you guys, which is terrible, or if I need to open up my Substack on my, um laptop to, um, see comments, which would be really dumb. Also, why can't I go live from my web browser? Um, again, this is what happens when I don't know how to do these things. I just thought it would be easier because when I used to go live, I would go live on like, TikTok typically. And um I know that not everybody's over there, especially, back in the day. What was it, like January when we thought that TikTok was going away? And so I know that a lot of people aren't on TikTok. And I'm not interested in going live on Instagram if Instagram can't show my content to my followers. I am not going to reward them with my lives. Um, obviously, there's no way, and I wouldn't want it to go live on Threads, which is where I spend most of my time, even though I'm trying really hard to spend more time here on Substack. Um, and um, so I don't want to do it on Instagram. I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook. I used to a long time ago, and then I stopped for reasons. And it wasn't serving me. So what do I tell you guys? I tell you all the time, if it's not serving you, let it go. So I'm trying to learn to take my own advice, which is silly that I can't do that. But that is a that's silly that that's a normal thing. I am if I do this again, I'm going to have to find my silly thing. Am I talking to myself? Hold on. Okay. All right. Um, so, um, yeah, but we do that a lot. And I think one of the problems that a lot of us have, especially those of us, and there are a lot of us in the creative community who are late diagnosed neurodivergent, is that we've been told that, we need to make ourselves smaller, stop being so weird, um, that we kind of, lose ourselves and which, is one of those odd things to me. Like, um, why do people who are clearly dealing with their own trauma feel the need to pass their trauma or inflict, not passing because it inflicts their trauma onto other people, whether it's their children or people that they work with or online. One of the things that really annoys me are back in the day when I had little kids, we had something called I don't see it very much anymore. That's probably because I don't have littles anymore. My youngest is a teenager. That we used to call them sanctimommies. The moms who clearly knew everything about being moms. And you're just like, but you don't. And just because that works for you does not mean it works for me. And I know that they guilted a lot of new moms into thinking that they were doing something wrong. And I'm just like, you're not helpful in any way. Are you being helpful to this community that you're supposed to be helpful to? And if you followed me for any length of time on any social media, then you know that I am huge on that whole like, why can't you grow your community? Why do you have to be an asshole? Well, I have to say that it's my life. I can say it if I want to, right? Anyway, so this is my basic guy. I obviously just drew him for the sake of drawing him. So this is smaller. Nope, that's better. I have a smaller white. You can tell how prepared I was for this, right? A smaller white acrylic marker. The white one. All right. So let's see if this is going to cooperate with me. So yeah, so we had sanctimommies, and I think that I just don't understand punching down. Um, it seems like counterintuitive to me. Because you've got to think there's no way that any of these people as started with all the information that they needed, even if you had like a really good foundation, like you had a really good uh parent that taught you everything, right? Mm, why are you so watery? Um, that doesn't mean that you know everything. So why would you why would you do that? But people do that. It was probably a learned behavior. Um, just like the whole idea of, you know, um, we don't grow up thinking that we're fat. I mean, we aren't born with the idea that we're fat. We are taught that we're fat. More so, we are taught that being fat means that you are problematic. Now, can you be fat and that is problematic? Absolutely. But again, if you've followed me on Insta media, social media for any length of time, then you know that um all bodies are good bodies, and nobody determines your worth. Your worth is determined by your existence. And since you woke up, you are worthy of respect and love. Um, and if um, the only way you get rid of that is if you do something that causes that respect to be taken away, that love to be taken away. Um, but uh, that's a choice. Um, and while some people argue that being fat is a choice, sometimes it is, but sometimes it isn't. And sometimes there are non-food related reasons why people are fat. Um, but one of the things that really kills me is that we place too much emphasis on those things because Finn sounds like such a fat girl thing to say. Thin does not mean healthy. Now, can you be healthy and be thin? Absolutely. Can you be healthy and be bigger? Absolutely. I have friends who are bigger, who run marathons and do really well. And, they need like a week to recover afterwards. But that's more because, um, recovering from a marathon can do that to you versus, oh my God, just because you're fat. But I also know thin people that can't run a marathon or, go hiking or um, significantly walk around their block. Um, so those things are kind of pointless. Um, Thank you. But it's one of those things that, like sanctimommies, that people say things like, "Oh, you know, you should quit eating. Maybe you shouldn't eat so much." Well, Karen, what about the starving the tumor that I have? It's one of my favorite things to say. I don't have a tumor, but I do not owe them the story of why I am fat. You don't either. Um, the whole idea that um they are entitled to that story of it is so dumb. Like you don't get to tell me that. You don't know my story. You don't care. And being a big girl, I think one of the things that really pissed me off was you tell me to go to the gym, you tell me to eat less. I do those things. And then when I'm at the gym, you record me laugh, post it on social media. This doesn't happen to me, but I've had friends that this has happened to. And then laugh at me online and share it with your thin friends. Um, and then laugh at me for doing that. And then you get mad when Nike puts out activewear for bigger people. One, dude, you don't own Nike. Two, Nike only cares about the extra money they get from fat people. But also, go fuck yourself. How miserable are you that you give a shit what my body looks like? Um, you know, you don't get to tell me. And if you're dating somebody and you're doing that shit, um, yeah, go fuck off. When you get to the fence that says fuck off, climb over the fence and keep fucking off until we can't see you anymore. It's probably one of my favorite things from the internet. A lot of time. We not being you guys or me. Um, I hope not. Anyway, we spend a lot of time um telling other people what to do with their bodies and then um pearl clutching when somebody else has the audacity to tell us, to tell them, not us, what to do with theirs. Because those rules obviously do not apply to them, which, hypocrisy, but I'm not surprised. Um, because yeah. Um, do you know how long this is gonna take me to finish? I'll show you guys on Threads when I'm done, but this is gonna take me probably all total, probably about 2.5 to 3 hours to finish because I'm gonna have to do all these swirls, throughout the whole thing, and then, figure out what I wanna do with the background, um, because that's what I do. Um, but, you know, um, let's see, what else do I wanna say? Um, I think, uh, one of the things that I am known for, um, especially nowadays, well, no, back then too, like when I was really active on Facebook, is community and the fact that a lot of the issues that we have, um, could be solved by community. And, um, also art. I wish more people would understand. I see it a lot, in the art community. It's like, I feel guilty, I feel bad about making art or marketing my art, when everything's ugly right now, and I'm like, well, if you've seen me, then you know. And I'm like, "But your art, 1, is an act of rebellion, because people, always want to shut down artists because, typically we're putting out a good message. Are there bad artists? Yes. Um, but, you choose to consume what you choose to consume. And I am not someone that's going to tell, artists that they can't produce what they want to. I'm just very much of the mindset that if you do things that cause harm to other people, I'm going to say something about it. You can keep doing it, but I'm going to say something about it. Um, but you shouldn't feel guilty. You should do something that 1 preserves your sanity, 2 keeps your livelihood going if that's one of your things, and 3 creates a spark of hope for other people, you know? Um, and there's nothing wrong with that. You should not feel guilty about it. I mean, after all, what have I been doing for the last 2 weeks is, talking about my, um, crazy little bottles, um, because, they they make me happy, and they make other people happy, and if I can do something incredibly silly that makes people happy in these, trying times, then yeah, why not? Um, And that's one of the things I really like about um, Threads, which is probably one of the most supportive art communities I've seen. Instagram is Instagram is dumb. I've never had a positive experience there. Back in the day, I used to be super supportive, like I am on Threads, like I used to be on TikTok. Um, but um, I never got anywhere. And this was before Reels, and for Reels, for Reels, I'm such a dork. Anyway, but for Reels, I mean, I just post whatever I post on TikTok because not everybody who follows me on Threads is following me on Instagram. And not everybody who follows me on Threads and Instagram follows me on TikTok. So it's always new content for somebody. And oh, and that's something I tell people too. Don't stress about what other people are posting because not everybody can make a new piece every day. And I guarantee you that for most of those artists, especially the ones that make big pieces, they are not doing those in a day. You're just seeing them complete every day because they are showing you completed pieces. Um, Also, what is one of the things I say all the time? Your only competition, whether it's in art or writing or life, your only competition is the person you were yesterday. And it is incredibly hard, um, to see people, on social media who, um, you feel make the same kind of art or, you feel have not been on whatever platform as long as you, um, and they're getting sales and you're not. And you don't understand why. And but you don't know what their journey is. You don't know how long they've been doing stuff. You don't you don't I was counting circles and then I lost count and now they're not even. And these little spaces that are all uneven is going to drive me crazy. But anyway, um, you are not you're not aware of what they did. You don't know where they've pulled their audience from. Um, and again, they're not your competition, and you should be able to. And I encourage people to celebrate other people's successes. That's why it sucks when people are like, um, I don't care. I don't understand why um people post how much they made last year. And I'm like, but they're happy about that. Let them be happy about that. You can tell that I'm doing this quickly because I never do these quickly. The line art that you guys like does not. I don't. This is really fast. And I'm going to be very unhappy about it. And I'm going to have to redraw it. And this is going to go into my personal stash. But I just celebrate other people, even if they're doing quote unquote. I don't know why I did that with one finger. Quote unquote better than you. They're not doing better than you. They're just doing different than you. Um, and as I told somebody today, look at how far you've come. You compare your art to where you were 6 months ago, to where you were a year ago. I bet you have grown. Um, and that's fantastic. I am I hate that sometimes I sound like, "I am so proud of you," but I am. And I'm like, if I can buy all the art, I would totally buy all the art. I mean, I wouldn't put it all in my fridge because I only have limited space on my fridge, but I would totally put it all on my fridge if I could. Actually, I'd put it on my walls in my office because I don't have a lot of wall space in here because I have shelves for all my Star Wars shit. Um, and I'll show you one day. But, so I don't have a lot of wall room. Wall space? Wall space. Um, but, um, um, but I do. When I buy canvas from you, it goes up on my wall. Well, right now that's going up on my door to my office. Um, but if I buy prints from you, um, sometimes I frame them. Sometimes they go into my self-adhesive photo albums. And I look at those and I'm so proud of you. And when I have people visit, and they're like, you know, people should not ask me, what do you do? Because I will tell you, I I do see posts about people are like, when people ask me about my book, they draw a blank, and I'm like, "I don't have that issue, because I will tell you all about it." I'm sure that's a neurodivergent thing. Um, but I don't have any issues with that. Also, I think that's part of the whole, like, I grew up with well, I'm Gen X, so I grew up with parents that didn't really pay attention, so nobody told me I shouldn't do things, so I did the things, um, because nobody told me I couldn't. Or that I shouldn't. So I just did the things and I learned the things. I think that's probably one of my biggest fixations is I like learning stuff. So, um, yeah. So, but it is one of those things where like I don't have that um should I or shouldn't I? I do have imposter syndrome. Which is why every once in a while I'll tell you guys that I'm glad that my sprites resonate with you um on threads because I draw them for me. That's how they started. I draw them for me because they're all things I needed to hear. And I'm glad that they resonate with you because that encourages me to draw more of them. And I just found my list of about 20 new things I want to say. So there are going to be 20 new sprites in the future um, for you guys. But anyway, I just got to figure out on my daily mom hug, this is where I'm putting the sprites here on Substack because, of course, I have 4 Substacks. Um, that I just need to write those because I realize my problem is that I tend to overwrite and I don't want to overwrite. I want it to be like bite-sized stuff. I also just need to do more on that for podcasts. Podcasts? Yeah. So, I don't know if you saw my 3 things today, but Steve Burns, Steve from Blue's Clues, who is thankfully not dead, and also heals and breaks my heart every time he has a new video where he's just like, "How are you today?" And then he he listens. I mean, he is recording a video where he sounds like he's listening and he is um he pauses and says and says you know um encouraging things and I things like I know that must be hard and whatever. He has a I say that whatever, but it's been like I had to stop watching those for a while because they made me cry. But I'm menopausal, so everything makes me cry. Um, and I'm just thinking about that. It's going to make me cry right now. Anyway, he has a podcast out now, which is like Blue's Clues for adults, like just to learn new things. Like the first episode is about dying, and he talks to a hospice nurse. One of the things I like about it is, remember in Blue's Clues where you would walk up the camera would take you up the driveway to Blue's house. He has a little house. It's like Blue's house, but also like Mr. Rogers. Um, so it's very, and in that first episode, he lets you in, he makes you tea while he's talking to you and like listening. He um pushes the mug of tea towards you and drinks his tea while, giving you space to talk before he talks about whatever it is. Well, in this case, death. He lost his dog and he lost his father. And then he introduces you to his guest, who is a hospice nurse. And I couldn't watch all of it because, you know, like I said, it makes me cry. But he asked real questions and she gave real answers. And, um, like, did you know that, well, I mean, I'm sure you thought about it, but that your body knows what to do when it's about to die? And one of the things that it does is it dehydrates you, which I didn't know, which is why it's confusing. It confuses your body if you're at a hospital and they rehydrate you, which for some reason makes me think of like, the scene from the original Space Jam, where Wayne, Wayne Knight? I forgot what his character's name is. Maybe it was Wayne Knight. Anyway, the character says, or the character gets mushed, right? Because they're in Toonland. And he's flat. He's flat, and they come out with the ambulance or the gurney, and they give him the air tank, and they inflate him again. That's what that made me think of, is that, when they rehydrate you. But apparently that confuses your body. Because your body's like, oh, I thought we were shutting down. And then it has to go back through the process of or dehydrating you again. So, talking about how, especially in America, the whole concept of um dying well only happens if you're rich, which, I don't think anybody's surprised. So, but I have thoughts. But we're not going to talk about those because I'm trying really, really hard to not talk about that. I couldn't help myself today. One of my favorite creators had a thread about stuff. I'm being vague on purpose, and I commented, and I like her because we can have conversations that are not um flame wars. She listens to me, I listen to her. It's very respectful. I mean, we're on the same side of the conversation, but it's still really nice because I do run into people that on the left who are, anyway, nope, not doing it. Sorry. But all right, so I see what time it is. I have to go because I have I can't even, I'm so blind now. I have to go because I have an appointment. But yeah, if you guys left me comments, I can't tell. So I'll have to look into that. But if you want to do something like this again, and you're following me here, you're following me on Threads, let me know, and I'll do it again. I think I like this format better if I can figure out, details, um, better details. So yeah, now I'm back to clear liquid again. But you guys are great. Whomever you are, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And I know that from whomever you are, um, even if we only know each other online, I know it's weird to say it, but I do appreciate you. And my world is better with you in it. And I don't say that to pander, because I hate when people do that. Um, I'm so happy that you're here. Um, because I hate it when people do that. Um, because you guys don't need that. Anyway, see, this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to go through and do this all over again because I was paying attention to what I was talking about instead of this, and now it's all this. Anyway, all right, let's see. Uh, all right, so I have to figure it out. I have a webcam that does a really good job. It tracks me when I move. Anyway, so I want you guys to be happy and I want you to thrive. Um and if um even if you don't agree with me, if you don't agree with me, I don't want you to have the power to legislate against me because that's some bullshit. But I said I wasn't going to talk about politics. Anyway, Um, but I do want you to thrive. I want you to be happy, whatever that looks like, as long as it doesn't harm you, it doesn't harm anybody else, and it's consensual, between adults. Um, and yeah, internet mom says, be good, take care of one another, and be kind. Bye, guys.